on your left. Clear.
Scott, prepare for you. Prepare for you. You are stupid.
Be ready.
What's going on, guys? This is Scott Clinton Jr. here, and today we're doing a GTE race. Two of them, technically, because this first one didn't really go as planned. If you saw in the caption of the thumbnail,
Clear.
this doesn't look right. So we'll kind of find out what happened. Essentially, we got off to a great start in this first race, but as you can see,
You drove out into traffic. What a hell.
people are losing their car control and cursing people out, and this is like early in the morning U.S. time, so we've got people from around the world.
Thank you.
Clear on the right. All right.
I'm assuming from the United Kingdom
Clear.
by the tail of his accent, along with other continents, and you know, it's just awesome that you can race against people from around the world and almost be killed because
What was I saying about the incompetence of the Oval guys? I think some of the pricks are in here.
so they were talking about essentially the oval side and how we can't essentially hold the line, but everyone in this race has done something stupid. Obviously not me, but we're going up the hill here, and we're fine. We're totally fine until the Porsche loses itself and runs into the BMW, which I run into the BMW, and then I get fishtailed, and then launch control. We have liftoff. Oh my goodness, man!
About to go green.
That first
Stay
race was
focused.
crazy. If you guys do enjoy this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. For more
Red car is off.
racing content, more
Green flag,
game
green
content,
flag.
all good stuff. But we're off to a slow start because the leader didn't go, surprisingly. This is like one of the lower splits, I should say, and it's a little bit difficult
Car on
to
your left.
kind of know where
There,
people
hold your
are
line.
in
Clear.
terms of skill level, because I'm going from 700 I rating to about 1500 in this race. So it's still considerably low, but we're climbing up to higher splits, which is ideal. This is pretty good. This is always a good thing. Progress. I don't know why I said progress like that, but off to a good start here. Essentially, we are in 4th position, and we're just trailing behind this Porsche here. Everything's going according to plan, not really pushing too much. I have the pace, but I didn't qualify with my fuel as low as it could go. It was with race fuel, so the fact that I qualified 3rd is kind of an understatement to how fast I actually am here in the Ferrari GTE car, which is very nice, and I love the way that it drives, especially with the height ratio from seat to ground, or seat to floor. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at this whole commentary thing. Usually I would just let this go and just, you know, let you guys watch this, but we're going to go in depth. This is an inside the mind of Scott McClendon Jr. here, and today, you know, that's my slogan right there. And today, we're breaking into turn 1 at the 200 meter board, more like 250 meter board, trail braking into the corner, getting onto the throttle, riding out a little bit wide to carry the speed. Coming up the hill, we are going to upshift early, and we see the Porsche nearly kill itself. We avoided pretty successfully, doing pretty well so far. You know, things like that. So, yeah, this race was pretty quiet. I don't know if I'm gonna skip ahead or not, but it's been pretty quiet for the most part. I don't want this race to be too long, but at the same time, like, I know you guys want to look at the lines and everything. I might just fast forward, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. So, I'm not going to fast forward because I go into a long, in-depth story that I'm sure some of you want to hear, some of you probably don't, but we're going to go through it anyway, so hopefully you enjoy. Now, I did set this car up to be a little bit better in terms of long-run pace, so I'm not too worried about that. It's just about keeping the thing on track and not getting any X's. That's the plan. Don't get any X's, Scott, if you want to get to B class again. Currently in C. This is the only way I would be able to race in a registered race. And second place just pitted for some weird reason. Or technically that was first. So
You're in second position right now.
the leader apparently pitted. I don't know why, but he did. And we're in second position. We're doing pretty well here. It's not, it's not the most grandest of, is that even a word? No, it's not even a word. It's not the most grand race, is what I was trying to say, in the first beginning. But it gets interesting with lap traffic. That's what happens when you race in road races, because they don't have full course cautions, at least on iRacing yet. They don't have safety cars. If they add safety cars, that would be kind of defeating the purpose. It's not like we can't virtually get anything off the track, So safety cars, at least in iRacing, is kind of pointless. It would be nice to have that for immersion factor, but making the races longer in terms of registry, I don't know. Don't know about that. Maybe in league stuff, having a safety car would be nice. Obviously, the admins can throw the caution, the full course caution, and be completely fine. But, in registered races, it's just not ideal. So what I'm gonna do here, we're going to essentially walk you through a lap at Watkins Glen. So coming to the finish line, basically in 5th gear, and I'm upshifting into 6th. We're braking just past the 300 meter board, running our right wheels onto the little banking there into turn 1, running wide, and then coming into the hill, up the hill, upshifting early to keep the car from sliding out. And the Ferrari in general, if you can upshift early, you for some reason carry more momentum, which is weird. And we're gonna brake here around the 250 mark, keeping it really tight, getting on throttle pretty early in the middle of that bus stop there. And through the carousel, you're pretty much just being patient on throttle. Coming into this section here, I don't know all the corner names. You're keeping it really tight because it's an on camber corner. Here, it's a little bit difficult because if you go a little bit too far out wide, you kind of get into the off camber part of the track, and that makes you turn even worse. So we're gonna brake here at the 200 meter board, going into this next turn, riding all the way out to the curbing, and then here it's just flat, so you have to be really patient and make sure you don't overshoot the corner, because it's really easy to unsettle the car going over that crest. Here you just, it's a slight lift, you don't really come off the power too much. Downshift at the 3rd here, and that's essentially a lap with my poor explaining. I'm sorry, I'm horrible at road races explaining the different curbing. That's something that I need to get better at, something I need to train myself to do better at. It's not easy, especially when you're just used to dissecting all of this while you're driving the track itself and not explaining it through your mouth. It's more explaining through your driving. But it's something that professional drivers do, and they actually do this to kind of perfect their lines, and they kind of can rehearse, you know. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and if you can hear yourself talking about the track, you can better understand the track. It's pretty interesting and pretty amazing. So I enjoy it. It's pretty fun, even though I am kind of bad at the whole explaining thing when it comes to road courses. Even though I know the language, understeer, oversteer, carousels, hairpins, bus stop chicanes, double apexes, triangles, you know, all that lingo that is really cool. I guess I could take a moment to, I don't know, talk about my life and me almost running into the wall because the grass kind of brings you into itself. So recently, while we're just sitting here driving a bunch of laps until we get to lap traffic, I have not been at the racetrack in real life, and it's mainly because for all of the people who actually watch my videos who have seen me in real life and see me at the racetrack, that's, well, as we get really sketchy, that's why I upshift there, because it gets sketchy if you just hightail it on there with more torque in 4th gear. I can't talk, I'm sorry. Anyway, I wasn't at the track this past Saturday, and that was mainly because of some very unfortunate events that have kind of questioned, should I even be here with roommates? Should I even be here with anyone? Because, you know, I don't know if I could do anything right. With losing my job about 5 weeks ago now, and then like being out of money for the most part, it's been pretty difficult. And now with this thing that just happened last weekend regarding the dog, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but essentially the dog died, and I'm kind of at reason for that because I played too much now. It was a small dog, and the small dog was probably the most lovable dog ever. Very exciting. Very excited is what I should say. And it was just a really hard moment because this dog has been with my roommate for a very long time, and it crushed their hearts. Still crushes their hearts today, and it was a really rough time, and I didn't really know what to do with myself, didn't know what to say to my roommate during the text messages because I just felt so crappy during the incident. And essentially, like, we had to, like I said, put the dog down, and it unfortunately passed. And we have Zeus, which is the other dog that we have at the house, and he's kind of been a little sad too because he's probably wondering where the dog is. But it's been really touchy and very sad the past couple of days, and I didn't think that I'd be talking about this, but I am, just to kind of get this out. So essentially, as you guys know, I write lyrics and I write songs, and I use that to get feelings out and to, you know, uplift people, to show people, you know, you're not alone, and to also show my feelings and what I'm going through and all that stuff. So during this process of this event and me talking with my roommate, one of my roommates, I didn't know what to say. So the only thing that I felt I could do was write lyrics, and in those lyrics involved some very dark, very emotional type of lyrics. That's kind of all I'm gonna say on that one. It was very, very crazy. So my roommate thought that I was going to be essentially hurting myself because I felt so crappy. So the police arrived. Yay! Police! Woohoo! With all this stuff going on. Yay! That's the leader, by the way, in this race. Spinning himself, which I don't know how that happened, but we assumed the lead. Woohoo! We assumed the lead, guys, so it's pretty much smooth sailing. We got like, I don't know, 10 seconds lead at the moment between me and the first lap car. But he's stopped on the right, the little Mercedes. Yeah, so we passed one lap car. That's one lap car down. But back to the story. So essentially the police came because the roommate was quote-unquote worried that I would hurt myself because I felt so crappy. And I talked with the police, explained the situation, and they essentially told me what I wrote was very weird, even though I told them this is me lyrically expressing myself, lyrically expressing how I feel, not the fact that I'm going to do any of this stuff. It's just how I feel. And it's just, they didn't get it, I guess, because that type of music isn't on their radar as good music or music that someone can listen to that's actually sane in the head. So, yeah, that happened. So they essentially called me weird for writing lyrics like that. So one of the officers recommended that I talk with someone about the situation, and it essentially involved me going to a hospital, which led to a which led to a behavioral, don't know why I had to say that so slow, hospital. Basically making sure that you're not going to hurt yourself and you're not seeing things, and a whole bunch of other stuff that, like, I did not expect I was going to have to go through when he said, oh, you should talk to someone about this. And I was like, I don't really think I need to, but at the time, I knew my roommate needed space. Still kind of need space until this day, which brings a whole new factor into that. But yeah, needed space, and essentially I was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind talking to someone if that shows that, like, I'm okay, that I'm not thinking about hurting myself, essentially, because of the lyrics that I said, which I'm not going to go into depth again. But essentially, got to the hospital, and I'm just like, okay, I need a mask with all of this stuff going on. And I'm asking the EMS, and I'm like, hey, do I need a mask when I go into the hospital? And they're like, no, if they think you'll need a mask, they will let you know, and blah, blah, blah. And essentially, I had to strip down from my clothes and put on these hospital clothes. And I was essentially in a very, very dark place of the hospital. It was very, I wouldn't really say crazy, but a different experience that I've never been a part of in a hospital. A lot of people going through different things. I've seen people come into the hospital during the waiting process of trying to talk to a quote-unquote counselor. People have come in on hospital, like, striker beds, which are kind of like the little beds that you can fold down and then fold up, like depending on where the EMS team has to go, like whether they have to lift it or if they have to roll it, you know, which I'm sure some of you don't even know what that is. We are coming up on lap traffic here, the first lap traffic.
That car is a lap down.
And I pull to the right, just showing my nose, not going for it, essentially. But he just kind of pulls out of the way, which is very nice to see.
You're on the left.
And I just do the simple tap of the mic key, and that's a clear indication of thank you, a very quick way of saying thank you instead of saying the actual word thank you. And then I can actually stay focused and run my line. So if you want to use that little technique, you can. It's very helpful. It's very nice as well. Track is getting a little bit dark. Cloud coverage is beginning to settle in, which is making the track a little bit faster, a little bit cooler, which is very ideal. And it's very nice to have in certain parts of the corners. In this section of the track, not so much though, for some particular reason. But back to the story. People were coming in on the quote-unquote striker beds, and they were being held down by straps because they were actually trying to hurt themselves and end their lives. So it was very dark in that part of the hospital. I kind of just kept to myself, mainly because I had to. But then it was one part of the situation, or one part of the hospital waiting for the counselor, where they moved me out of that part of the area into a more calm status, I guess, because they realized, hey, he's not freaking out, he's not complaining about going home, and like most people were, which was so intense and so crazy to see. So they kind of moved me into this very quiet part of the hospital. Still was waiting for counselors and whatnot, but it was very peaceful in this part of the hospital. I was in there with 2 other patients, but then other than that, it was just the nurse and then essentially other staff. Like, it was only 2 staff members in there. So it was a pretty interesting experience that I was a part of. But I talked with one of the employees during my wait. Fell asleep for like 4 hours, and then, well, not really 4 hours, but yeah. Fell asleep, took a nap, and talked with the counselor, told her about everything, and she was essentially telling me, well, more than likely the doctors are going to recommend that you be on watch, and based on the lyrics that you told me and the song that you wrote, even though you told me that this is the way that you're expressing yourself, they just want to be safe about things, which I totally get. The issue is, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to miss the race this Saturday because of this. This sucks. So in hindsight, I'm trying to get out of the hospital as quickly as possible to potentially race the Saturday of that weekend. And it didn't really happen because I had to wait. Thankfully, I didn't get onto the 96-hour wait time or watch time that was mandatory because I volunteered. The way she explained it to me is they would put me on watch, but essentially if I volunteered to go, then they could essentially see how I'm behaving, and if I'm doing the rules correctly and like behaving quite well, the doctors could release me pretty substantially early. Now if I refuse and I'm like, no, I want to go home, and like I'd rather go home and I don't want to be here, and they tell me that it's recommended that I should be on watch and I don't want to go, then they essentially what she told me is they can essentially force me to be into this program, which is kind of absurd. But I get the premise. Some people who want to go home probably shouldn't go home. In my case, I was fine with going home, but I realized the situation. I was asking constant questions because I didn't want to be there so long that, you know, I couldn't do the unemployment because of me losing my job and
Thank you, Lee.
the weekly status thing and all that stuff. So I was just trying to make it the best opportunity that I had. I don't know what I'm saying. Tried to make it the best opportunity that I had. I just said that, but you know what I mean.
Got about
Okay.
5 laps of fuel left.
We got 5 laps of fuel left. It's coming close to the end of this fuel stint. And I was kind of waiting until I hit traffic like pretty hard to pit because I didn't want to lose
Thank you.
huge amounts of time with second place only being 6 seconds behind, essentially. So we kind of just played the long game and pitted when we needed to. We're coming up on a lot of lap traffic now, which is we're seeing a lot of lap traffic just getting out of the way, which not everyone is like that. Which I really thank a lot of these guys for being so courteous of the leader and everything in the GT3 class. Very nice. Yeah, essentially, I had to be on quote-unquote watch, and I was in this place.
Car on your left.
That was awkward,
Clear.
and as you can see, I didn't press the talk button because that was annoying. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna thank you on that one. That was just rude. But I guess he was holding his line, so
Thanks, Damien.
I felt like I lost time through that corner a little bit too much. So I just decided on coming onto pit road. But I was on watch for 2 days essentially. I talked with the doctor in between time, but I met some pretty interesting people, pretty amazing people to talk to on hindsight. But those people were questioning their lives, and yeah, it was pretty
That's it, go.
pretty humbling to talk to these people and see their insight and why they were there, and I told them why I was there, and just it's amazing how low someone can go and then just feel like the world doesn't care about them and like their life is meaningless. And like I said, I felt super humbled to hear these stories and hear the point of views of these people. And some of these people were drugged up like tremendously, like on depressants and like just things for pain in their head, and
Thank you.
like, and I told the nurse, like, she was asking, oh, would you like to have any medicine to help you sleep, or like if you're feeling anxiety, would you like to take any? And I was like, nope, I'm good. Especially with all the research and things that I already know about drugs, and she was essentially like, oh, why would you not want to? You know, it could help you sleep. And
Go left.
and my whole mindset
Right side. Still
on
there. Clear.
drugs to help people, I get it. You don't want people hurting themselves, but at the end of the day, it's not something that you can fix with a pill or something you can fix with cough syrup. At the end of the day, these people are going through things that are up in their heads that they need to talk about and need to, you know, have someone go over with them, not just from a medicine standpoint, but from a personal human standpoint, you know? I feel like once you add the drugs, it just makes everything worse, because now you're dependent on that drug, and when you're dependent on that drug, you essentially get caught in the trap of always being hooked on drugs or needing drugs to function in life. And the reason I'm so like I hate drugs in general is because my family has been through that. From my brother having quote-unquote ADHD, which I don't really think it's from, you know, scientifically ADHD, super hyper, not really focusing. No. I think that's mainly because of some of the things that he's went through as a child that I've witnessed that were not okay. But that's a whole nother story. But like, people act a certain way because of what happens in their lives, not because, I mean, yes, our brains are different, yes, fetuses grow at different rates, and, you know, but certain things you just don't want to mess with, because once you start to mess with it, you make it worse. As we've seen in iRobot, when you try and make society have life depend on robots, it kind of goes to crap. That's just an analogy. It's not something that's true.
Just
But
to say.
yeah, I've seen that side where you get this drug to help you, but then it makes you worse because you essentially either get addicted to it or it makes you feel great, and then once you're off of that, it's very hard to go back to normal without it. And then it could essentially make your emotions worse. I'm rambling, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get things off of my chest at the moment, I guess. Didn't think I'd be doing this during this race, but if you guys like it, dislike it, I don't mind. I get it. Some people don't want to hear this stuff, but I'm just getting things off of my chest, and I don't know, watching a race, something that I love, racing. So essentially, there was a girl by the name of Mickey. Mickey, if you ever watch this, I hope you're doing well. I currently don't have my phone, so Instagram is not going to have any posts for a while until I get a new one, or at least until I recharge my iPad, which I don't have a charger for, but I paid for one, and it's on the way via Amazon. So hopefully that's going to be up and running. But I talked with the girl by the name of Mickey, who was also in this program, and she went through a lot, and I mean a lot, through her life, and just she's
Thank you, Paulo. Very, very
always trying to make sure she's not thinking about what happened to her, and I realized this during my time there, and I just needed to help in any way I could with any of these people. I just felt like I needed to do that. Like God was telling me, hey, since you're here, I would like you to help them keep their mind off things, help them know that their life is precious, you know? So that's what I did, and yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I kind of was there. We went outside and played basketball and soccer, and
Say that.
it was just a huge eye-opener to go to the hospital and see all these things. I know I kind of rambled on, but I was talking about the drug usage and like my whole opinion on that, and I'm just not a fan of using any sort of medicines or drugs that influence your behavior, you know? Because that's a very slippery slope you probably don't want to mess with. But enough of that. I'm doing better now, guys. And for the people who are watching, I don't even know who will watch this, honestly, but I'm okay. Been a little bit depressed, essentially for the past year or so, quote unquote, you know, sad. So, and that's just because of things that I know I could be doing better. It's not the fact that, oh my goodness, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. I can't do anything right, which is what I wrote in the lyrics or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. I'm rambling on. I'm trying to say what's on my mind, say what's on my feelings after about a 4-day renaissance, essentially. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing things off my chest and getting them out. So that's probably the best way to deal with pain and
The
sadness.
lead is bidding now.
Just talk to someone about it. If you have no one to talk to, YouTube is your greatest friend. Or it could be your worst enemy in some cases. But
The lead is bidding now.
yeah, I just
The lead
felt
is
like
bidding
crap.
now.
And I was in the hospital for 2 days, missed my races, and
Thank you.
That car is a lap down. The
and
lead is
I'm
bidding
very,
now.
No problem.
very ecstatically
You're back in second.
happy for my friend Bobby on sweeping at Gateway. Shout out to you, man. If you're even watching this, I don't even know if you watch my videos anymore, but if you do, thank you. Props, man, to the good old sweep along with the Whiteland win, man. Congratulations on that. We got a surprise. If you haven't seen the surprise yet,
Right
there's a
side.
surprise in store. I'm not
Clear
going to
on the
say
right.
too much on it, but a few people know about it. So, congrats to you, man. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there to kind of congratulate you there and contend for the win. I'm pretty sure I would have contended for the win. But yeah, it was a pretty rough weekend, essentially. I didn't race. I was in the hospital. Things are still kind of sour with me and my roommates, which I don't really like being sour with my roommates. That just makes things very difficult, especially when you have to pay bills and do things in terms of keeping the house up to par. So it's just been a real struggle the past few days, and
Blue flag, please. Blue flag.
YouTube has kind of been the one thing that has kept my mind off of things. So that's kind of why I've been uploading like a madman and been doing videos constantly.
Marcel,
So
blue flag.
thank you to all of
Okay,
you
you're on the
guys
Blue
leader.
flag.
who do
That
watch
car
my
is a lap
videos
down.
and who do like my videos, and specifically Captain Smoke, you are the man. You've been with me for 2 years, man. 2 years. And even when I took that huge break, you still come back and you still watch my videos, and you are the MVP, man, of this channel. Shout out to you, Captain Smoke. You are awesome. Yeah, I haven't been streaming lately. It's just been
Thank
video edits, because
Left
Steve, come
side.
through.
Clear.
essentially that's I
Don't worry
just
about me, David. Not gonna try anything.
I feel like video editing is kind of something
Yes,
that'll
yes.
keep me busy while I don't have
Thanks.
a job at the moment. I am searching for one, but video editing is something that I love to do. Plus, it involves racing, which I get to do more frequently. It would have been nice to get paid for all this, but I still love it. It's something that keeps me busy, and racing is what I love to do. So, man, I just kind of emptied out at least half of the mess that's stored up the inside of here. So thanks for listening to the people who did listen and who do listen. You guys are the true Phoenix MVPs of this channel. Very grateful for you. You're the reason I keep going and the reason I still have a smile on my face. Because, I don't know, God put this talent in me and He's given me the ability to bring smiles to a lot of people's faces, and that brings joy to my heart. So, yeah, this race has been really quiet, so I kind of just took this opportunity to unleash my feelings and unleash what's been going on, and yeah, so to the people who have my phone number, I don't know if I'm gonna have that phone number still.
On your left. Clear.
That phone number probably will be changed, considering I have to get a new phone for reasons I don't want to go over. But yeah, so if you are watching and you're part of my family,
You've got about 5 laps of fuel.
I'm doing alright, and I'll be communicating through Messenger if we are Facebook friends, or on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter and DM me and I'll answer. Yeah, this is something I didn't think I'd be doing, but we did it anyway. And we've also showcased my talent of leading a race, something I couldn't do Saturday, but we're doing virtually, which is always nice. So thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you, Steve. Sorry, I got a little slow on that.
I think I'm gonna sign out from here. Kind of let the video play out itself. I don't know. I don't know. We're leading. Not much has happened so far. Get a little bit loose. A little bit loose, a little bit fish chatty.
Lee, you're blinking all over the place in front of me, buddy. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
We got Brian letting people know that he's blinking, that they're blinking. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to comment below this video, feel free to do so with your thoughts on the situation. But thanks again, guys. You guys are awesome. And as always, drive safe, be smart, but most of all, have fun. God bless, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the rest of this footage. See you later.
That car is a lap down.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you.
Pass on the inside.
How many laps is this race? 26 or 27? You got 2 left.
Thank you. Kurt, you can go ahead.
Thank you. I knew we were close.
It's all dependent on the pace of the leader.
No flag, please, Christian, yellow.
Real nice work. This is the white flag lap.
Blue flag, right, yellow. Blue flag. Thank you. Perfect, blue flag.
You stupid mother...
2 laps of fuel left.
Perfect, blue flag. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You won. Awesome job.
Good win, Scott. Good racing, guys.
Good race, guys. Good job.